Today I'd like to elaborate on the video that I recorded a few days ago concerning the ways in which the insults against broke men just seem to be regarded as okay, seem to be regarded as something that men should just sit back and take and not complain about, just like jokes about them being short that are the same way, fair game, supposedly, even though we're supposedly concerned about body image and body positivity. I mean, can you possibly reveal your blatant double standards and stinky hypocrisy any more blatantly? Sorry to overuse the word blatant than that. No, you can't. It's pretty much all there, plain as the nose on your face. So I'm going to be advocating for hashtag broke boys, and I'm going to be writing a manifesto in support of broke boys, because I really think that, and by boys, I'm talking about guys, men, but I'm just going for the alliteration there with broke boys. I just really think that broke guys need an advocate. There really isn't much support for guys who just don't have a lot of dough. As I've said before, even amongst the red pill manosphere MGTOW types, the message I relentlessly hear is, look, you gotta forget women, just stack that bag, or whatever they say. Make money, make a ton of money, make a ton of money. That should be your primary goal. You should be laser focused on just just making that bag, and then you get your independence that way, and then you don't get married, because of course if you get married, then she'll divorce you and take your stuff and take your kids away and all of that, which, I mean, it does happen a lot, and so that's understandable that they would be skeptical about such life choices. I'm not as anti-marriage as they are, but I understand where they're coming from. But my point of view is that there should be an allowance made for those who don't really see the value in having this laser focus and working your fingers to the bone and just doing everything you can to just stack that pile of cash, but rather who see who have a more, dare I say, stop and smell the roses approach to life. Now, please understand, I'm not advocating for being a leech off of society. I'm not advocating for being irresponsible. I'm not advocating for living an irresponsible life. Obviously, if you have to work, in order to subsist, and you intend upon subsisting, as most of us do, for at least some period of time, then do it. But I'm saying don't be ashamed of yourself. Don't think of yourself as a failure if your choice of subsistence isn't seeking out these kinds of, I don't even know what it is. I'm frankly way on the outs of all of this. I don't know. I guess there, you can make investments in things. I guess crypto was good for a little while, and now it's not good anymore. I'm not an economist, but it might get better. I don't know. I'm not an economist. I don't have a flair for such things. I never really have. I've never made a ton of bank myself for my entire life. So I would say that this sort of lifestyle and philosophy more or less chose me. than me choosing it. So there used to be an acceptance among certain artsy types to embrace the so-called bohemian or the starving artist, and to say, well, it's okay if he just lives in this bungalow, that's not very well accoutramented, if that's a word. It doesn't have he doesn't have much stuff, he lives in a shack out in the Montana woods and writes his manifesto. No, I'm not saying you have to be like that necessarily, but just, again, somebody who chooses not to live high on the hog, works to the degree that he must, but then is also somebody who appreciates leisure time, and in my case, devotes leisure time to artistic pursuits. In my case, it would be writing. In other men's cases, it might be other things. But whatever it is, that's okay. That's perfectly valid. And it's not a bad way to live. It's not irresponsible. It's not to be frowned upon. Saying all of this is not me casting aspersions on men who are chasing after wealth and riches necessarily. I think there's probably a way of doing that it's certainly not for me. It's certainly not what I'm cut out for, but for those who are good at it and who can do it and also still keep things in perspective and know that money is not everything, and not succumb to materialism. Got no difficulty there whatsoever. Now, of course, you're still, in this age in which we're living, where it's sort of open season on all men except high. They try to cover their tracks by calling them high value men, but really what they mean is high status men, not high value men. That's a way of trying to put it, like we value them. They're valuable to us. They're valuable because of the assets that they provide. Right? Let's be honest. They're valuable because they're wealthy. They're not valuable or because they have other attributes that you find attractive. That we're really talking about status. We're not talking about value. We're talking about status. Those are two separate things. Now, I am, as I have long been, a low status male, and I've written a trilogy of nonfiction called Ruminations of a Low Status Male, and I'm low key shilling it now, I suppose, for those who aren't aware of it already. But I see this, what I'm doing now, what I feel moved to do now on behalf of Broke Boys, hashtag Broke Boys, as kind of an extension of that. It's still amazing to me that it's it's okay for women to take a swipe at a man and call him broke. Like you hear it in so many songs. I could compile a list of songs that I have heard, and others have sent me material. It's all there, where it's like F you and your broke down car. Broke boys to the left, meaning I don't want them. There's this whole attack on. Or this relentless mockery of men who don't have a lot of money, and a lot of for a lot of men, it is incredibly unfair, because the poor, somebody said the poor we will always have with us. Some very wise person once said that. I'm not going to name him right now. But, it seems like if you're, it seems to violate this whole notion of, you want to promote, if you're like, if the whole thing is about virtue signaling, right, and you want to signal that you're somebody who is an enlightened person, which is what most feminists would do, yet at the same time, it's perfectly okay to dump on broke men or poor men in the most appalling way imaginable, and to take swipes at them and just try to totally knock them down and make them feel like shooting themselves in the head because they're so useless. I mean, I find that unfathomably cruel, and somebody needs to take up the mantle for broke boys. That's what I'm doing. Broke boys hashtag. So those are my thoughts. Manifesto will be forthcoming. Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching.